Hi, welcome back to Vertech TV. We have something very special for you today. We have created an open source library for WinCC OA, and we have Calvin here with us to tell us more about it. Hi Calvin, thanks for being here with us today.
No problem. I always love showing off what we do here at Vertech.
So tell us a little bit more about the library you've created.
So what I've done is I've created an ORM, or Object Relational Mapper, inside of OA. And what this will do for you is it'll take your database tables and translate them into code classes, so it's a little bit easier to work with.
Okay, cool. So is this free for anyone to download?
Absolutely. We're putting it up on GitHub under the MIT license so that anyone can utilize it in any of their projects. And we're also hoping some people will contribute to it to make it even better software.
Awesome. So let's go check it out.
So here we are inside of WinCC OA. I've pulled the files down from GitHub and put them inside of the libs folder of a new project I started up. I've also created just a really simple panel that has a few buttons on it with some scripting behind them to actually run the process of the ORM. So keep in mind that an ORM takes a database table and it translates it into a code class, so it's a little bit easier to work with. So if you look to the left, under the models folder, there will be a model or class corresponding to each table from your database that you're pointed at. And then the mapper is used to actually map those files to the code class themselves from the database table. One thing this video doesn't show you how to do is to create the ODBC connection that is needed to connect a SQL connection to WinCC OA. It's not a difficult process, so you'll be able to figure it out. So first thing we're going to do is go inside of our generate button. Inside of the generate button, I've just got a simple script that instantiates an ORM factory, and the ORM factory then calls the init function, which points at the ODBC connection name, a username, and the password that is used to connect to this database table. After that's been done, the start ORM function sets the name of the database table that you're working with, or the database you're working with, and it gives the name of the file path. The file path is important so that the files get generated correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick launch of this project along with the log viewer. I'm going to click generate, and you can see that it ran. So I'll minimize these out of the way and go up to edit and click the reload project view option. Now if you open up your folders, you'll now see that you have models and mappers inside of your libs. These were auto-generated for you. And each one of them corresponds directly to a database table name inside of that database that we pointed at earlier. So next thing we're going to do is actually show off some of the functionality of this simple ORM. So we've got 3 more buttons to work with, and I pointed all of them to the scope lib so it's easier to find. First thing we need to do is say that we're going to use the mapper of the database table that we're going to work with. This allows the ORM to point at that one. And then we're going to instantiate a database adapter object, and again, pointing at the ODBC connection, the user, the password, and the database, the specific database you're going to use to make this work. Create an instance of the mapper so that we can use in the rest of the file. So the first one we have is get all things. And what the get all things does is it gets everything from that database. We're going to have get one thing, and what it does exactly what you think it's going to do. It's going to get a single object from the database, or a single row from the database to work with. And you can see the functions down below for the get one thing. We're first creating an instance of mission, which is the database name or the database table name. So we're creating an object with it. We're creating a dyn string, which is going to be our where clause. So we can put into it mission ID equals 91. So we're going to grab a record from the database where mission ID equals 91. And then we're just going to call mapper.single. And that's going to get that individual record translated into an object so that we can work with it. To go back up, the get all things follows kind of the same type of process. We're creating a dyn any type so we can put all of the results into a single type of object. And we're just going to use a find star or find everything and return those things so we can work with them. And then finally, we have the update one thing. The update one thing will do exactly what it says. We're first going to get one thing from the function above. We're going to manipulate it by manipulating the object itself, not the database table. And then we're going to do again the dyn string, so we update the correct one inside of the database. And then we'll call the .update function and pass through the object that we want to change and the where clause. So let's go out and actually start running a few of these things. First one we're going to do is I'm going to clear out the log so we can see it. I'm going to get all. And you'll see every record that's in that database table has been translated into code objects for us to work with. We're going to do a get one, and it's going to get one record where the ID is 91. And then finally, we're going to use the update one. This one will jump into SQL Server Management Studio to see the difference. As you can see, we've been working with the ORM demo database, and we have 3 tables in there: equipment, mission, and mission history. The update one updates the mission table and updates the one where mission ID equals 1, and we change the equipment from column. So here I've ran to show what was already in the table, and I'm going to hit execute. And you'll see that the top record has changed because we updated it inside of WinCC OA and just hit the update function from the ORM. And the benefit to this is we did not have to write any SQL at all to make this happen. We just utilized the ORM. And that's one of the major benefits of using an ORM. Thanks everyone for listening to this. I hope it becomes useful to someone. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment on this post or get a hold of us here at Vertech. Thank you again.
Thanks, Calvin, for your insight. So how will this be useful for our OA developers?
My original idea behind this library was to make it easier to interact with SQL databases inside of OA. I think I've gotten to a pretty good place, but it does need a little bit more work, and I'm really hoping the community will get behind it and try to build it out further.
Cool. So where can we find it?
You can find it in the GitHub link below in the description.
Awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also check out our website. It's in the description below.